GP fans bringing you the best specials, news and views from the world of Formula One as always. And we've had a look at Aston Martin, Mercedes and Red Bull and their campaigns in 2021. But it's time to look at one of the most iconic names in motorsport, Ferrari. An improved power unit in this last season really helped the Scuderia challenge for third place in the Constructors' Championship after a very disappointing 2020. And of course, Carlos Sainz settled in wonderfully alongside the young Monegasque, Charles Leclerc. Now, before we get into everything that was Ferrari in 2021, just a reminder to stay up to date with all of our specials and all the news from the world of Formula One. Just hit the subscribe button down below and that will deliver it all to your digital door. But now, let's have a look back at Ferrari's campaign last season. Sainz had a reminder of talent as the new generation steals focus. Anyone who follows Formula One will have heard the hype around the new generation of F1 drivers entering into the fore. Max Verstappen has taken his opportunity with a maiden title, but Leclerc, Lando Norris and George Russell have all been touted to follow suit. Yet, by finishing fifth in the standings last year with multiple podium performances, whilst adapting to a new car, Sainz has put his name forward in a "you forgot about me" sort of way. The reality is that despite making a few mistakes in practice or qualifying through the season, the Spaniard was quick whilst also reliable. Sainz raced 99.77% of all laps across the year, 2% or 25 laps more than the next most consistent finisher, going on to finish ahead of his teammate in the final driver's standings. If the correct machinery is provided, Sainz may well be a world champion in waiting. Leclerc performances deserved more. By finishing behind Sainz in the standings, you would be forgiven for thinking Leclerc had a poor season. In fact, it was quite the opposite, with the Monegasque actually outperforming his teammate more often than not. The pace that saw him drag a woeful car through 2020 continued into 2021, with qualifying and race performances keeping Ferrari close to McLaren in the early salvo of the season. 2 pole positions underlined his talent and Ferrari's progress, although one at his home race was marred by a crash that ensured he would fail to make the starting grid. And let's not forget, Leclerc was only a handful of kilometres away from taking his first win since 2019 at the British Grand Prix. In the end, it was a strong season for Leclerc, even if the final standings didn't reflect how well he drove. Poles prove pace improvement. The aforementioned pole positions are a visual indicator of the improvements Ferrari has made between the seasons. With the switch in focus to 2022 last year and the lack of in-season development, it was always likely the 2 teams at the top would pull away as the championship battle intensified. So to battle when there was a more even playing field would have delighted team principal Mattia Binotto. The previous year had been a trying time for everyone at Maranello. And with instances of internal implosions during times of crisis at Ferrari before, the way the team pulled together to dig themselves out of a hole must be commended. Of course, a win would be more satisfying than a pole, but at least all of that hard work was validated by the timing screens, albeit at outliers in Monaco and Azerbaijan. Strategy improvements pay dividends. Aside from the technical issues Ferrari had in 2020, the team had struggled with strategic mishaps for years. Such issues were highlighted in Sebastian Vettel's final year with the Scuderia, where tempers often frayed. But last year, the team seemed to get on top of the problems. There were no clangers where drivers dropped positions due to poorly timed pit stops, and on the whole, the execution in the pit lane was vastly improved. With the field only getting tighter over the coming years, this will need to be a reoccurring strength. Hybrid system seals the deal. The most exciting development for Ferrari all season was the introduction of its 2022 spec hybrid system as part of a power unit upgrade in the second half of 2021. The performance from the car there on in was clear to see, with the gap to McLaren overturned in the race for third. That allowed Ferrari to effectively test the system before homologation, meaning any rectifications would have been achievable. Not only did it help cement third, it could prove to be crucial in the future. So how would you rate Ferrari's 2021 season? Were they the best of the rest, or perhaps did McLaren deserve a little bit more and perhaps deserve to be ahead of the Scuderia in the final standings? Were you as impressed with Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc as everybody else was? Let us know, of course, in the comments section below. And will Ferrari be able to do it again next season? Of course, under the new regulations, you can stay with us throughout the season by hitting the subscribe button down below. And to get all of your news and views, get onto @GPFans Global on Twitter and Instagram, and gpfans.com as well.